Salve a tutti, benvenuti a questo nuovo episodio del Macro Today, benvenuti a questa nuova settimana.
I would like to know, Patrick, why they didn't invite Wall
Il tuo problema non è che non vuoi diversificare, ma non hai tempo per farlo. Ecco perché voglio spiegarti come dopo le 18 i mercati finanziari possono essere assolutamente tradati in maniera intelligente. Per chi ha poco tempo, per chi chiaramente ha determinati orari in cui può fare delle cose. Ecco, ho preparato un corso per te, un corso dove ti spiego una strategia applicabile dopo le 18, un corso che però si allega ad un'altra roba molto interessante. Gestirò un conto per te, un conto demo, dove tu vedrai le mie operazioni che derivano da quello che studierai, per capire in maniera molto pratica come quello che ti sto spiegando potrà essere applicato. Lo so, è una cosa innovativa, ma noi siamo assolutamente innovativi. Noi siamo la Cinochi, un'azienda, ecco perché parlo da imprenditore, che fa della formazione in maniera diversa e innovativa il suo punto di forza. Quindi inserisciti in questo percorso e non rimarrai deluso.
L'America's Cup è una competizione sempre emozionante. Non sai cosa accomuna lo sport della vela agli investimenti finanziari? Direi l'imprevedibilità. Proprio come il mare, no? Anche i mercati si muovono in modo imprevedibile. È per questo che, così come il velista esperto, anche il trader deve imparare a elaborare un piano per affrontare diverse condizioni. Ciao, sono Andrea Unger, l'unico 4 volte campione del mondo, no, non di vela, ma di trading. E perché sto parlando di vela? Perché la capacità di adattarsi al cambiamento, alle situazioni nuove, diciamo così, che possono presentarsi, agli imprevisti, deve far parte del trader così come dell'esperto velista, quello competitivo, diciamo così, no? Proprio per questo il mio metodo di trading usa una serie di regole che permettono di gestire diversi scenari in diverse condizioni di mercato e tenere sotto controllo il rischio, proprio come faresti in mare. Quindi tu una serie di mattoncini messi lì per prepararsi a diverse situazioni. Ti piacerebbe metterti alla guida del tuo futuro finanziario e iniziare a guadagnare sui mercati con un metodo che funziona davvero? Allora guarda subito la lezione gratuita che ho creato per te. In questa sessione spiego il mio metodo di trading e perché può fare la differenza per il tuo successo sui mercati. Non perdere questa opportunità. Clicca per guardare ora.
Starting to explain that this is not the real trading that you get in your personal life. Like also Patrick Neal was saying that the way you manage position, the way you input risk in the challenge is really different because you have to reach the performance and you are not putting as the first line the total drawdown that you get.
Yeah, which is what you would normally do in trading.
Yes.
You would put drawdown first and not performance.
Yes.
That's what every investor and trader is trying to achieve ultimately, in the professional space at least.
Yes.
But for retails, I think the gain is a much more, how can I say, triggering number than, you know, the draw. They don't care about the drawdown.
Yes. To connect to what you are saying now, my fetish is knowing the drawdown of Larry Williams. It's not the performance. It's not 11,000%. It's how much risk you have to input to get this performance. Because if he did, for example, pyramiding on position, using only the profit he get to get this performance and he managed to add the drawdown below 20%, he's a genius. Because I know how much is hard to do this. Every day you have to get a little chunk of profit, risk only this chunk of profit to get more performance. And if you lose this trade or this trick of trades, you go back to zero. So you start to trade again for the day. This is the only way to keep drawdown low and get a really big performance.
Yeah.
The other way is that risking all the account in one trade, but the downside of this is that, yes, you can be first, but it's one time. Getting every quarter to be in the ranking, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's also one of the criticism I've seen around Larry Williams, because he has a lot of fans. He came down to legend for that 11,000% performance because in 1 year it's really astounding. But the thing is, it just happened that year. Like he wasn't able to replicate it anymore. Then he built a huge educational business around that. Also, I'm seeing a lot of traders. Even ICT himself boasts of being students of Larry Williams. But I'm actually ignorant on, has he ever audited a private track record instead?
I don't think so. I tried to search for it, and I actually studied also the content of Larry Williams, and I find an edge in them because it's really good use seasonality, commitment of traders, that are all strategies that I also use for my swing trading. But I didn't find anything else, the performance that he did in the Robbins and the performance that Michelle Williams did. If I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
it was like 1000%. So he demonstrated that he can replicate this kind of performance. But like from my personal point of view, and I'm saying this, that is my personal opinion, I prefer to see traders like Patrick Neal that are constantly there for 5 years in a row, always participating, and maybe you will not get a one-shot crazy performance, but you are constantly profitable, showing this to the world.
Yes, and I've talked with Patrick. He's also increasing the risk in the last like weeks or month of the competition. But the difference between Patrick Neal and the reason why we chose him both as a mentor for us and as a mentor in World Class Edge is because he's also showing the track records. And he's not a systematic trader. He's a discretional, he's a manual trader. So everything he's doing is manual. If you are an algorithmic trader, it's much easier for you to kind of cheat and be up in the leaderboards because, I don't know, you can have 5 running systems and the only one which will be displayed in the leaderboards is going to be the one who's more profitable. But if you're a discretionary trader, that cannot happen. You can manage one account.
This is another thing that I wanted to point out about the criticism. I think it's good if you want to try different models, but you cannot participate at the same time with 5 different strategies because maybe you burn 4 of them and you are in the leaderboard. But the point is that at least for the single name, they should restrict the participation to 1. Maximum that you can do is like trying to put in the market another model, but they should say it. This person is trying to put another model. If he's a systematic trader, I think it's okay, but it should be seen by people that is entering in the challenge with three different model.
Yes.
Because maybe one is more high risk, one is medium, and one you are using to show that you are constant. The other one you are using to show that you are getting crazy performance with really low drawdown. But if you are like showing only the best one and hiding the 4 losing system,
yes,
this is something that is really shady.
Yeah, and I was checking the last leaderboards of the 2025, and there's people even in the 5th place, which are only 1% in profit. So I imagine the lower part, that like what happens below the number 5, you cannot see. That's also another very big, it doesn't make the competition as transparent as it would need to be.
And I think that this is connected to the performance that you see at the last page of the brokerage. Like 95% are below that 5th place. And I wanted to see the drawdown of these people.
Yeah.
Because this is so important for transparency and to let also people understand that when you are in a challenge, the probability that before getting to the top rank, you are in the lower part, maybe minus 20%, minus 15%, it's really big because you are input a lot of risk on the market.
Why do you think they're hosting the competition in such a way and they're not changing it even though people are asking for it?
This is the same reason why prop firms show profit certificate and not percentage of traders losing the challenge. It's because it's marketing.
There's a conflict of interest.
I don't know if there is conflict of interest, but people nowadays, especially, they want pleasure. They don't want pain. They don't want to know, okay, I'm starting in an industry where 90% of traders lose. And I have to start with the motivation that I will be in the top, that I will study more than 90%, that I will improve my system more, that I will optimize. I want to do this? No, perfect. It's not the industry for you. But if you enter in the industry watching a pink Bugatti saying that it's easy, that you can make a lot of money, only showing the profit, not understanding the risk, not understanding how much it's important, the size of the account to understand how much connected profit you can make. Not understanding for every payout of a prop firm, how many people are losing money in the prop firm. Not understanding for every trader that is constantly in the peak of the leaderboard of the Rabbins, how many traders are burning the account. This connection is not good for marketing.
Yeah.
It's anti-marketing. It's transparency is not good. We saw this with our company. The more we are going to the transparency, the more people are like, it's so difficult.
Yes.
They are like afraid of this, but it's the only way to make this finance field better.
Yes.
And of course, it's not sugarcoating the pill to buy the course, but that's the reality. And I think World Trading Cup will see less amount of subscription for fear if there was the lower part of the leaderboards. Because think about this, also a mentor. If he have the risk to be seen at minus 70%, will he enter? Will he risk his position and trust and branding? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that is strategic. I understand the point is to show that you can achieve performance, but I think having ratio like Sortino ratio, Sharp ratio, profit factor will be a really good challenge. There is the necessity to create this kind of challenge, getting a minimum sample size that you cannot get the lucky trade. You cannot enter, for example, with 10 algorithmic system, and it's too easy like this.
Yes.
It's too easy. So I still think that the best way is getting like a 1,000 execution track record personal in the brokerage that are regulated, for example, by SEC, and bring this track record to PwC or any other big firm like Deloitte and do the
KPMG,
auditing.
yeah.
KPMG, yeah, and do the auditing. The point is that when you reach this level, you directly go to hedge fund. So you are not interested in showing this to audience, but this is something, I think this is the next level of the industry. I saw Bern doing this with Alpha Capital, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm on the side of Big Four for this, because the private auditing is, yes, it's of course trusted, but it's not, it doesn't hold the same level of authority of one company that is so huge, is auditing like huge companies. So I think this is the next level for the, not only for the forex industry, for the trading industry.
For the trading
because
industry as a
also
whole.
Futures needs this.
Yeah, of course. I mean, CFDs are not even taken care of by the big four. Like, they don't even care about CFDs.
No.
And the point is, I think that retail traders are not informed enough to understand if a track record is valid or not. And there needs to be a lot of education done on this side of things. And that's, I think, our mission overall. But the point is, there's a very big market, a big chunk of the trading retail wanting to learn how to trade market is newbies. They don't know shit about trading. That's why they're trying to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big chunk which have already been disillusioned, you know, and now they know the shit. And but I don't know which part it's bigger. What do you think? Which part do you think has more sales volume? Let's say
The disillusioned one.
Yeah, right.
Yes, because if you think about how many ways you have to get in touch with the trading industry, like the call center that is calling you, invest in Amazon, you will get rich really fast. The trading bot, it's a huge industry.
Huge.
I saw the marketplace of MetaTrader and I was astonished by the amount of sales they do for bots that are costing maybe $10,000 each and are like martingale system, but people buy them. So it's a huge market also, the bot. Then the signal service. How much big is the signal service? All the shady brokerage, offshore, unregulated system. It's, I think, the disillusioned one. It's way bigger than the new traders that approach from a correct point of view the industry. So I think what the industry needs, it's a cleanup, like a big bang, and starting again from zero. And I don't want to point my finger to my Forex book, but my Forex book is part of the problem because it's giving the sensation of audit performance. But there are a lot of pitfall about platform like this. For example, white label brokerage, you cannot control it. You can get similar name, maybe it's not IC Markets, it's ICM Markets. And it seems like the same, and you get a performance with 1000%, with 0.01%, and then there is the guru pointing you out because you are in the future markets but are not able to get this performance. So what can you say? Just try to educate people that this is not real. Mm-hmm. You cannot get this performance without drawdown. And also then they do this and then they attach the business, they connect the business of selling bot that is achieving this performance. So then the client lose money, but it's part of the game now. So there, every 3 months, new bot, new trading system comes out. And then if you're not satisfied with the bot, we have the signal service. It's really hard to rewire the mind of
Yes.
the people to what is actual trading. Also because the real traders are usually not in the YouTube channel or Instagram because they see tons of shit that they say, no, it's too much work to educate people like this. I will just leave this as it is and I will just trade in the shadow.
Yeah.
This is what we usually see from traders. And the one that is really pushing the industry, it's you now in the international industry and Burn.
Yeah.
Like the one that I see also Iman. Iman is doing a huge work on this. Also Tom Hogard is trying to let people understand how much difficult and how much personality work you need to do to reach this kind of level. But it's like 6 or 7 people against 10,000 because
Yeah.
this industry is giving something to put on the plate to a lot of scammers.
Yeah, and the problem is those scammers are powerful scammers. Like they have billions of
rich.
dollars.
They make-
They are broker with headquartered you like God knows where in the Caribbean islands.
Yes.
It's a mafia.
It's a mafia. But it's not only this, because the broker is only a small part of the business without a face.
Yes.
They have no frontmen. No, they have frontmen, but they are. What we saw is that the kind of money these people are making by selling the dream, it's 100 times bigger than people that try really to educate on the industry.
Yeah.
Because if you think about what's easier to believe, a sweet dream or some reality that it's like hard to digest, that it's giving you, now I need to stay
Work
only
hard,
to
yeah.
study 2 years and no, I want the bot. So
Yeah, they have a competitive advantage.
they have
give
a huge amount of money to take down your channel, to go to war against you. They have on their back huge brokerage firm that are doing market making. And other than that, there are also partnership with platforms that are selling this bot. So it's a connection that it's not really easy to destroy.
Yeah, the first one who I saw who was trying to bring light to all this was Anton Creel in
Yes.
his it's his most famous seminar.
Yes.
And I like the thing he did where to make some sort of difference in this, he chose not to get commissions out of losing clients.
What we did
It's the
also.
same thing we did. So there are some sparks of light in the industry, but the point is like also the trading industry, like finance, is purely based on egoism. Like it's just about getting yourself richer. There's not like you're not even bringing anything new to the world. You're not providing value, but
Yes.
it's just pure. A purely egotistical activity, let's say. So it's intrinsic in the trading space.
But
I
I
think
want to
as well.
say something about this. I've been in this industry from the beginning of the forex industry. From the beginning, I start with binary option and everything, and I saw how this market develop and how the billions are printed with all this system. And now I think the market is changing. The market reached the point where people are just pissed off about throwing off money to a martingale bot or to a signal service, and they are ready for something more real.
Yeah.
And maybe the industry will lose 80% of the people, but the 20% that will keep in this field will get a taste of what's trading for real.
Yeah.
How can you live out of trading for real? How can you pay your bills? What's the inconsistency of money that you can get every month? Why you need to have side business, or you need to plan your life below your possibility so that when you have swings in your monthly performance, you can pay for the bills, you can absorb drawdown, you can like stay 3 months without earning, because there is a huge topic on how much is hard to live only out of trading.
Yeah,
Because I've done this for a small part of my life without business, without anything, and you need to plan your life 10 times below your possibility, because it will arrive the month that you need to pay bills, you need to pay for something that was not planned, like you have a disease and you need to go to the doctor and therapy is expensive, and you need to account this in your trading account. And considering also the fact that you will not go easily into compound interest. So it's just not smart. And people don't want to talk about this, because if they
that's-
talk about this,
Yeah, that's true. And I think also the like trading is very stressful by itself. So the only way you can actually make a living only out of trading is that you've already mastered it.
Yes.
Like you have to be experienced to make a living. You can't make experience while
No.
living out of trading.
It's like a doctor trying to do some kind of surgery, but still learning. Wait, maybe I can cut here. Maybe you correct me with your throat slice in the meantime. It's the same. So what I want to say, even if you take the second road, I want to live only out of trading. You need capital, you need money, real money, and you need time. You have 2 years, 3 years where you can just sit at home, study, take your time, and then start to trade with capital. Yes or no? If no, because people still think that they can live out of trading with 1,000 euros. I made one reel, you remember, in Italy.
Yeah.
The reel that I made. And 90% of the comments are like, if you cannot live out of trading with 1,000 euros, you are not good enough. Okay. So let's say my expense that I have monthly in United Arab Emirates, $25,000 per month is costing my lifestyle, my apartment and everything. Okay. So I need to make 2,500 per month, every month, to keep only pay for my expenses without considering food, lifestyle, and any extra. So it's just impossible. The narrative that is being perpetuated, can I say
Perpetrated, yes.
perpetrated in the young mind is that just need some kind of experience, a good signal service, or like bot, and you can flip.
Yes.
I want to point this out because I know the reply that I will have in the video. But one time I did from 2,000 euros to 100,000 euros or to 50,000 euros. One time. If you need to base your life on a lucky flip of the coin, you cannot. You need to have proper risk management, because if you can get this performance, it's not easy to replicate them. Also, Larry Williams did 11,000%. How many people are able to do this, and how many times he did this? I think he tried to replicate this, but he was not able to do this.
Yeah.
So it's just cherry picking the best performance.
Yeah.
Just putting this to
It's a survivorship bias, yeah.
I can do this every year. It's not like this.
Definitely. So also for the people who are watching us, I think my audience right now is very diverse. So you have people who has been in trading for a while, people who are new to trading. So especially for those who are new to trading, or even those one who have been losing money for a while and just want to reset, how would you start from zero in building trading as your career?
So nowadays there are prop firm, but we have to put a huge disclaimer on the prop firm. It's not a clean industry. It's a new industry. Now regulatory authorities starting to make sure that people that really make performance are being paid. Some prop firm are also buying brokerage to have other kind of regulation. It's a field that is developing, okay? So I will do two things to start. The first one is starting to build my personal account with a really low risk. The second one is getting a prop firm to have a bigger account to pour money in my personal account. But before starting this procedure, you need at least 6 months of study. And before starting even the demo account, you need to getting an understanding on how to build an edge. What's an edge? Why you need an edge to survive in this market, and how you can measure the kind of edge that you have. Because if you don't know what's an edge and you just try to be profitable, getting from YouTube the strategy with exponential moving average, with MACD divergence, and trying to make money, I can guarantee you, you will fail. Maybe you can survive 1 month, but you will fail in the long term. You need an edge, and you need data analysis on what you are actually doing. It's the same procedure that I would advise to someone starting a business. Exactly the same procedure. You cannot just go to downtown and getting a license for the restaurant. You don't know about who will be your supplier. You don't have the people that are experienced in the field. You have no data analysis on how much budget you need to run the business per month. You don't know if the bank will give you a loan to sustain, if there is another, you don't know anything. The business in trading is just the same. There are a lot of connecting points with business. This is the reason we are, before everything, business owners, and then we are also traders, because it's the same blueprint. It's the fucking same blueprint that you need to use. This is the advice that I can give to people that are starting. And if they don't know how to build an edge from scratch, how can I summarize the concept of edge? Is something, some repetitive task or procedure of analysis that is giving you a statistical advantage over other market participants. And the only way you have to test this is to get 1 year, 2 years of data and check and backtest the samples. Then you need a time where you just check this trading strategy in live market condition, but with virtual money. And I know, it's boring, I want to have a faster road. Sometimes the fastest road is the slowest road. It's the procedure-based road. And then after that, you can start your career. You can just start with your personal account, you start with prop firm, you can get auditing on your future performance and bring this auditing to actual hedge fund or private investors. So you have 3 ways to build capital. But just don't try to get rich with 500 euros in a Seychelles or like Vanuatu brokerage firm because your favorite guru told you that you can make 50,000%, because now you will blame me because you are starting in the comments of this video. But after 1 year, you will watch this video again, you will say, fuck, Fabio was right. I had exactly the same Dunning-Kruger learning curve. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. About backtesting and data analysis, I think a lot of people in the space are very disingenuous about it, and they don't believe it's needed. What's your position on that? Because the common opinion is you only learn by making trades.
No.
Backtesting is useless.
Completely disagree with this. Every strategy that I put in live market, I want to be sure that in the previous data have an actual edge. And a lot of people will say, but previous data are not a guarantee of futures results. But no data is a guarantee of future failure. So you need to have results before, and then you need a phase of out of sample checking of data, so you see if the edge is robust, if you can hold the drawdown, and if it's reflecting your backtest. Then you go in live. It's 3 phases. People think it's useless because they jump from backtesting to live market condition. There are 2 phases. Before risking your own money, you need a virtual live trading account. So my position is completely the opposite of people that say backtesting is useless, data analysis is useless, because it's also the way you can find actual edges. If you don't have data, if you don't know if your edge is working, and you just try to figure out in live market condition how the strategy is working, it's a disaster. Also with my edge, my Nasdaq edge, my main trading strategy. My main trading strategy starts from a huge amount of data analysis. After that, I put my discretionary analysis, my narratives, on something that is already working, on some statistical analysis that I already know it's working. I know how I identify bias. I know how to read volumes. Then there is a small part that is my personal understanding of the market and creation of connecting the dots of all the data that I have and pressing the buy or sell button. But this is the final step. This is the fine-tuning of the engine that you build. This is the last step. This is discretionary analysis supporting that analysis. Maybe there are people, I have one good friend that I want to mention, Niku Bosca. He don't do that analysis. He's just in tune with gold from 10 years, maybe 12 years, and he just use the live market reading of what gold is doing. But this is kind of neural network that he built with his brain, watching something over and over and getting the trial and error process. It's not what I make. I put discretionary analysis, but not this way. So I don't want to say it's impossible. I want to say it's hard to replicate.
Yeah, it's hard to replicate for most people, I think, because I think a lot of successful traders, you included, are using that part of discretion in their trading.
Yes.
But it's not something that every...
Un corso gratuito e professionale sullo scalping, senza rimanere tutte quelle...
Ma che chi sbaglia candele, la wick per me non è una rottura strutturale, perché per me ci deve essere un'accettazione del value. Per comprendere come io ragiono con l'accettazione del value dovresti aver visto i video che parlano proprio di cosa sia un'accettazione 1 a 3 abbastanza conservativo. Ora andiamo a vedere i dati. Nasdaq ha la stessa condizione, chiede Francesco se possiamo vedere Nasdaq. Nasdaq lungo termine, ragazzi, io ho un portafoglio che molto probabilmente scaricherò per espormi, perché se no sto in doppia esposizione, sto in esposizione su Bitcoin e Nasdaq e me lo metto su opzioni, che con Andrea stiamo facendo uno studio enorme della parte opzioni e i portafogli mi creano anche una diversificazione dal mercato degli indici. Qua dentro, ragazzi, abbiamo recuperato la presa di questi minimi, ancora siamo in supply, quindi c'è da decidere. Adesso Andrea vi dirà la parte macro. Io non ho posizioni attuali sullo short term su Nasdaq, come sapete il mio orizzonte temporale su Nasdaq va dai 5 minuti a un minuto, sono uno scalper, tra l'altro andatevi a vedere i track record su LinkedIn che li stiamo pubblicando, e non ho posizioni di lungo termine, ragazzi. Su Nasdaq faccio buy and hold, ma a livello di sharp ratio ho trovato qualcosa di migliore. Con il market timing, nonostante qualcuno continua a dire che non si possa fare market timing, mi dà un risultato migliore e mi dà minor drawdown, quindi mi soddisfa più dalla parte di investitore. Ok? Lascio la parola ad Andrea, ragazzi, e rimango disponibile per qualsiasi domanda avete sulla parte tecnica.
Struggling to backtest ICT strategies efficiently? Do it faster and smarter with Forex Tester Online.
Of the strategy itself, why, like, how did your edge develop through time? How did you first find an edge in price action, and then how did you improve it with order flow?
Yes. Okay. So my starting point was price action, of course. I started to understanding how the market moves. What does it mean, a failed auction from price? Starting to understand the balance. The auction market theory you can understand from the price. The concept of balance, the concept of profit release or imbalanced market, the concept of accumulation distribution. And I built my strategy out of it. And I was seeking repetitive pattern, de mai visto, that it's a pattern that I really made a lot of money out of it. And after 2 years and a half, 3 years of trading this pattern, I just was watching a video. I still remember the moment about order flow. And I was checking on Nasdaq that you can see how the volume develop in futures market, and to see who is pushing the price, if there are more buyers or sellers, or if the buyers are more aggressive than sellers, or if you are more probably in accumulation or distribution phase, because you can add the cumulative volume delta and understand the balance of the forces in the market, and something that I still use nowadays. And I had the haha moment when I saw that in every my visto pattern there was trapped buyers or trapped sellers. That is some pattern that now it's not only from my personal point of view, but I can take this pattern and check and to give the amount of trapped buyers or trapped sellers. So I can just fine tune the precision of the level, refine it, and I can get more precise entry and more deep narratives. So my best moment in the moment I had a level up in my trading career was when I introduced the order flow analysis to price action. And from the starting, I always only traded Nasdaq. So I implemented the order flow in my Nasdaq model. So as you can see, was building a profitable model with statistical analysis, refining this model if you can get more information, let's say, for example, also option flow, okay? And getting small amount of edges that merge themselves and you have a trading model. This was my procedure on how I got inside order flow, and now I participated in the last cap, in a quarterly cap, and only traded order flow analysis with footprint. and I had a really good performance.
Yeah, we can say you had a
small drawdown, and the main advantage that I can see from order flow is that I can keep my stop loss really tight. Sometimes, for example, we had a live session the other day, and in the live session, there were a lot of people that were asking, why, Fabio, you have a narrative in the market that Nasdaq will break the high and it will have a follow-up. And I explained to them that from price action is not clear because you are just ranging. But if you get a deeper understanding of cumulative volume delta and how the buyers are pushing the price higher and are able to accept higher price, you can see that there is high probability also with big trades. One indicator that I use that is showing me the big position in the market, and I use them as breakout level, so break and test. And I developed the narrative and I explained to them that I can just put my stop loss below the big trades because I have a statistical analysis on this that if the price is accumulating, it will not break. So I have a wall that is protecting my stop loss. I don't need to put my stop loss below the consolidation range. So from 1 to 4 risk to reward, it gets to 1 to 10, 1 to 15. And this is a model that I can see that is being used by a lot of order flow traders like Umar Ashraf, Carmine Rosato. I see the same pattern in successful order flow trader. They're trying to keep their stop loss really low using order flow to refine the entry point and the stop loss point.
Yes, also Enrico Stucchi, by the way.
Enrico Stucchi is the king. Enrico Stucchi cannot be mentioned in this room without making a prayer before.
Nice.
Yes.
And regarding your style, your initial style, it could be, let's say, confined in the realm of smart money concepts. Where did you learn? Like, how did you get into those kind of concepts?
Yes.
And what do you think about those concepts? Because there's the probably the biggest bubble right now in YouTube and Instagram, which is ICT. So can we get deep into this part?
So let's say that no retail trader is using a smart money strategy, because to use a smart money strategy, you need to have smart money capabilities and amount of capital and HFT and GAM understanding, and no one of us is using institutional strategy. We are just trading the price as retails because we can enter and exit from the market really fast. We don't have problem in putting our position. We don't need to put billions inside single position. So I will start that there is a huge misconception about smart money industry that is like the stop loss hunting and market maker that are seeking you, Andrea. Chasing your stop loss. And this is something that I have to be really honest about. I was believing when I didn't have a good understanding of order flow, when I was just watching naked charts, trading the statistical edge of one pattern, you don't understand what is happening behind. Okay, so I just saw that this pattern was working, and I got some education on how this pattern is developing, and I was thinking, okay, someone is coming to get me, so I need to wait the liquidation before, then I can enter, because otherwise when I put buy, they will see me. There was a moment that I also convinced myself that it was, if I was not putting my stop loss, I was a ghost in the market. Then I understood that I was on a CFD broker. So let's go on the serious stuff. Let's keep on hold the funny stories about smart money. My education about this topic, about how the market moves in price action, was mainly of Chris Laurie. That is the one that created all these concepts.
Yeah, people don't know a lot about Chris Laurie.
People don't know the story, but Chris Laurie is the real deal in smart money analysis.
Yeah, he's the first one who came up with it.
I downloaded his commitment of traders report, and there is a level of detail of statistical analysis doing in commitment of traders report that you can just take this and trade out of this if you do swing trading. So out of this, I was really surprised by the amount of level of data that is analyzing, and I went inside his price action understanding. There are still some YouTube videos of him explaining how the market develops and how the interaction between market participant is creating the market. And this was the first moment where I saw the video, and I told myself, now I have a real understanding of why this pattern works, how these market participants are interacting. Out of that, I dig down. How can I say?
Deepened.
I deepened my understanding of smart money, and I went directly to ICT, Michael Addiston. And there was a moment in my life where I was really thinking that he was a good trader. Like, I was really sure that the way he coded the market was trustworthy. Till the moment he started to say that the concept comes from God, that is being searched by the most
The CIA.
the Mossad is after him, and he cannot talk. And sometimes he burned the account live just to don't show off too much. And
Or when he joined the Robbins Cup.
But I'm actually still waiting. Maybe
he will
appear
come.
like a Pokemon, you know, like a Pokemon. So from that moment, I start to say maybe the concept he created are valid, and this is my belief. I think
Created, or let's say remodeled.
Remodeled. Maybe the concept he remodeled are valid, but my thought nowadays is just took order flow concept, because if you see the names of the concept, they are really similar.
He talks about fair value at the end.
Yeah,
of the fair
it
value
talks
gap.
about fair value, about imbalance, about algorithm, that is auction market theories, not enigma. And but out of that, I see some value in what he created in the point of narrative, not in the point of concept. The point is that I was really hoping that you will took the challenge and get inside the World Trading Cup Robbins and show to the world that the concept works and that he can really sustain a track record that is profitable. But unfortunately, I had to say, okay, maybe some concepts are valid, but I cannot trust him as a trader.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still enjoy sometimes watching his mindset series. I have to be honest. Sometimes I put the mindset series because the mindset series is good.
Nice.
The technical series.
Yeah, I believe he's a really good marketer, but also a really good speaker.
He's a really good speaker.
Yeah. He's like when he talks, he knows how to talk.
Yes.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have created a cult-like following, for sure.
Yeah, but what he did in marketing, I think, is what people really need to study.
Yeah.
If you want to get some value, understand how we created the biggest trading channel, one of the biggest trading channel, without ever showing proof.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Like, and the fact that he pointed the finger at himself, saying, "I will go in the World Trading Cup."
Yes, that's
it's not someone that was pushing him. It's just this year, Larry Williams, done. Then the second year. Last year, I had some personal problems, let's say. But this year, Larry Williams, gone.
One more year.
One more year. After 5 years, he thought maybe Larry Williams not gone. And but yes, I think from the marketing perspective, is really a genius. People don't understand, because we also run an educational business, and people don't understand how much it's difficult to build this kind of audience only with raw content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And
there's no fancy edits. There's there's nothing.
No nice lifestyle also. This is the reason he also got a big trust. Then I think people need to be able to separate the
person from the concepts.
Yes, this is something that. But other than that, I still believe order flow is 100 times better.
Yeah, I mean it's like smart money concepts or ICT concepts, but on steroids, basically.
Yes, on huge amount of steroids.
Yeah, on trend and everything.
Trend and Diana Ball and everything.
Yeah, and how did you? If we can get slightly deeper into that, how did you, how did you kind of uncovered what's behind the candles of smart money concepts?
I told you everything started with a YouTube video, and if I can say, I think I can say, was the first platform about order flow was Market Delta. That now they had the trademark of the footprint concept. They created the name footprint, so they had the trend. Nowadays, I think the platform is not yet.
I think they sold it to CQG. Maybe.
Exactly. They sold it, but at the time for me it was a cheat code. It was a cheat code. From the first moment I saw that I can see the volume behind the pattern that I was trading, it was for me life-changing moment, because I understood that I can go deeper, and more information for me it's more money. And Andrea knows it, because also when you get some additional information and you can see, okay, maybe only from this I can understand with a 5% more or 10% more probability the bias of the day. For me it's 30,000 euros more per month. So it's like, okay, we need to stack edges to build the model. And in that moment I had the most important leap of my career from monetary perspective, because it was helping me to get better trades, high win rate, low stop loss. Andrea still remember the last 3 days of the World Trading Cup. There was Nasdaq pushing high really fast, and they was like 1, 2, 3, done, 1, 2, 3, done, 1, 2, 3, done. And this was only possible because I was understanding the aggression there was in order flow, and I was trading the big trades, protecting my stop loss. So I was joining the trend at the right moment. And this is something that from price I'm not able to do.
Yeah.
Not because I'm not capable, I cannot do multi-time frame analysis like someone is saying. You don't need volume. You just go on the lower time frame. Yes, you are watching smaller candle. You are watching big candle, now you are watching smaller candle. So this is not an actual edge. Maybe you can fine-tune and refine, but the actual edge is watching market participants that are pressing buy and sell on the regulated market. Now we need to point out also for transparency that you cannot see from the futures market the total amount of volume. You have just a statistical proxy of the total, but it's enough to build an edge.
Yes, definitely.
It's enough to build an edge.
And it's a cool thing that we're now trying to get deeper into option, and it was I think the second biggest aha moment in my life as well. That, you know, from price action to order flow, you understand how this is what price moves, and then you go into option data and option flow, and you say, this is what moves order flow.
Yeah, it was the second time in my life I felt really stupid. The first one was after order flow, the second one was after option. If you want to understand how the price move, watch volume. If you want to understand why the volume input the market, watch options.
Yes, that's crazy.
The level of understanding of this rabbit hole, every 3 years I feel like I can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, option flow is like the whole market maker model in option flow, and how they use dynamic gamma hedging and delta hedging. That is what's actually moving them to buy the underlying asset, which can be Nasdaq futures or the ESG. It's fucking crazy.
And after you know this stuff, when someone comes to you and say the market is moved by enigma, you just cannot believe. Even if you want sometimes like to get the fairy tale, you cannot believe, because you know what is actually moving the market.
Yeah, definitely. And when I saw Jem Karsan's interview in Words of Wisdom podcast,
crazy.
That was music for my ears.
How much percentage of volume?
I think 13%. He moved 13% of zero DTEs at some point. It's fucking crazy. Billions, of course. So we have some sort of inside joke where, you know, I have a wife, a beautiful human being wife. You also have a wife.
Yes.
Which is
also mine, a beautiful market being, and it's Nasdaq.
Yes, which
we have this joke from years.
Yes,
the name on the hat.
Yes, the name on the hat, and it was your choice. You chose to. Why did you choose Nasdaq, and why choosing one asset instead of a lot of them?
This is the biggest cheat code that you can ever get in trading. Mastering the underlying, mastering one asset and the underlying mechanics that are moving this asset. So I started trading having a watch list on the forex market. I was trading euro dollar, pound USD. I was trading, for example, all the indices. I was trading commodities. Like, it was getting the most amount of execution from multiple assets. Now is getting the least amount of execution on the asset where I know that I have a huge edge on it. So I just understood that the amount of money I can make in percentage is not related to the numbers of assets I have in my watch list, and that the best thing I can do when I don't have setup is just stay sitting, relax, doing something else, because my edge is not presenting in itself every day.
Yeah.
For example, consolidation day, I have no edge with my trading model. So when I started trading only one asset, I experienced some kind of psychological benefits in my trading session. The first thing is that you have one chart in front of you. Maybe you can have price action and order flow, but you have the focus on one asset. So you can go really easier inside flow state. You can just be super productive, super analytical, and it's something that is not easy where you have to switch out of 10 assets. So I just kept my trading model for long term, for swing trading, the one for global macro with code, seasonality and everything, with multiple assets. But in scalping, I think, and I want to advise you to have one trading asset. And I want also to say that the best trader that I know in person, that I know that are doing crazy performance out of trading, they all trade one asset. And I think this is because you develop some kind of discretionary sensibility on the volatility of the asset, on the best moment to trade because it's related to trading session. You understand when from the starting of the session what is not the day to trade, and it's not something that you can put in an algorithm, because it's like the part of intuition and part of personal understanding that is made from 10 years of experience that you cannot code.
Mm-hmm. It's subjective probability.
This is the personal alpha, the extra mile. And this is something that if you want to trade, for example, order flow scalping, I really advise choose NASDAQ, choose S&P 500, choose every asset you prefer, but focus on that asset and try to understand the statistical edge you have on that one. Because I noticed that, for example, if I get my trading model on gold, I don't have the same performance. Not even similar. Why? Because the behavior of NASDAQ in the opening session is completely different to gold. It's a commodity, it's different. And just the strategy that I use and the strategy Nico use are like opposite. He's trading usually main reversion. I'm using trend following because I'm trading a trending asset. It will be completely different if I was trading, for example, ultra bond. I saw that my model lose money on ultra bond because it's not the trading behavior that is giving me edge. So this was I didn't choose myself. I just watched the performance. And before I was trading, in the first 3 months, I was trading S&P 500, NASDAQ, and gold with order flow. Then I remove S&P 500 because it's correlated. And I see what's the point of trading NASDAQ and S&P 500. Then it was, okay, I make money and I lose 50% of that money to trade gold. Makes no sense. I removed gold, and from that moment, the equity curve was crazy. Nice. So just master one asset, master one trading model, understand what is really moving the market and what is giving you edge. And this is the best advice I can give you.
And to end on a more, like, say, psychological note, what's the main struggles you have faced, and what do you think is the best way for people to approach a more discretionary approach to trading?
What I'm trying to do in this podcast is protect the people from the pitfall that I had in my career. And I arrived because I was in a rush to make money, because I was not in a good economical condition at the starting point. So I had to take bigger risk on my trading account. And if you take bigger risk, your risk of ruin your drawdown raise. So from the psychological point of view, it's worse. You are just killing yourself and you are not aware of it. And the second point about psychology that really in the beginning of my career was difficult is that I had this necessity and this internal feeling of showing to my family and people around me that I was worthy of respect for my trading career. Because when you start, people don't understand that trading is a career. They take it as a joke, they call you gambler, they don't think that you are doing business, they think you are just playing. And maybe you have, at the beginning, in the first 6 months, you have no straightforward or really steep equity curve. You just make up psychological error and you go down, you start from zero. So it's not constant money, okay? So at the beginning, you have to just say, Mom, Dad, trust me, or your friends, trust me, I know what I'm doing. And this is something that bring you and me also at the moment in the situation to push on the gas, because I have to show you that I can make money. And this was the worst error that I ever made, and that I advise you to never ever also think about doing this. And in the actual moment, my psychology is really stable. Also in the World Trading Cup, I'm really relaxed. I'm just pissed off when Nazri Khan make this extra 3% in the last day, but hello to Nazri, he deserved it. And in nowadays, it's only about having a maximum number of loss for the day. And there is one setting from TradingView and also from the order flow platform where you don't show the money that you are making. You just show the tick that you are making, because the process is the same. So my psychology is completely detached from my trading account. The only thing that I see is the floating number of tick in profit or in loss. And this is really helpful. So I advise you to do this. It's possible also in TradingView from the settings. So just take care about your mental health by separating the economical performance to your trading performance. And don't punish yourself for losing money. Punish yourself for not respecting your plan.
Definitely. So thank you very much for all the tips. I think it was an amazing interview, and we'll see you in your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Videos are starting to come out finally, and people can get loads of value out of them. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you to everyone for listening to this.
Today's guest has proven to be one of the best scalper or day trader in the world.
This German
We're not
guy
only talking about a trader who has built multi-millionaire generational wealth through trading alone, but also has joined and ranked top trader 4 times.
Investi come un vero professionista.
Nel piano. La discrezionalità va bene fino a un certo punto. Se ogni trade è differente dal precedente, vuol dire che voi non avete creato un setup e un edge, ma vi basate un po' sull'intuizione. Qui vi fa vedere anche la situazione dello shape bilanciato, dello shape compressione ribassista, quindi un V-shape, e dello shape compressione rialzista. Questo dipende dalla visualizzazione dei volumi che noi ne andiamo a fare. Adesso andiamo un attimo su questa piattaforma, ragazzi, e vi contestualizzo l'ultimo short sia sull'euro-dollaro sia su BTC. Ora, partiamo un attimo con la situazione del session volume, no? Che è questa qua. Prima cosa che vi porto alla memoria, cos'è la linea che noi vediamo orizzontale gialla? Qual è il funzionamento della linea gialla? Cos'è la parte più scura, ragazzi? E cos'è la parte più chiara? Facciamo un attimo di nomenclatura. Esatto. La parte gialla è il POC, anche detto punto di controllo, è la parte più liquida dove abbiamo avuto una permanenza del prezzo più duratura all'interno di questo orizzonte temporale, quindi della sessione, ok? È un'informazione importantissima da poter associare all'interno della price action. Quella che voi vedete qua dentro invece, questa in bianco, viene chiamata value area, ovvero area di valore. E è un'informazione importantissima, cruciale per le accettazioni. Vi ricordate cosa vi ho detto prima? Vi ho detto che il prezzo, cioè il mercato, non va a tener conto del prezzo in sé per sé, della chiusura della candela M17, M18. No, il prezzo, scusate, il mercato va a tener conto della distribuzione dei volumi all'interno dell'area, no? Del grafico che noi abbiamo, per qualificare un'accettazione di prezzo. Ecco perché vi dico che le spike molto spesso possono essere un'informazione di una manipolazione e le accettazioni non sempre sono valide, ok? In questo caso noi cosa andiamo a vedere? Faccio una domanda, ragazzi. Quando è che noi abbiamo una pressione di order flow, quindi pressione di flusso di volumi, basandoci, vi ripeto, sull'analisi della distribuzione di profilo che possiamo fare sul CFD? Non mi iniziate a dire, ma se vado sul futures ho un mercato differente. Sì, ma stiamo parlando di un mercato differente. Io sto parlando del mercato del CFD. Grazie mille per i complimenti, Ferdinando. Parlando del mercato del CFD. In questo caso, come posso andare a utilizzare queste informazioni? Quando è che io ho uno switch volumetrico a chiusura sessione? Sulla mia sessione 1, 2 e 3, ragazzi. Order flow sarebbe OnlyFans, esatto. Adesso apriamo OnlyFans con i setup di trading, ragazzi. Vado a dare setup futures, scalping per il Nasdaq e setup CFD. Ok? Quanti si abbonano? Comunque, esatto, avete risposto correttamente sulla 3, ragazzi, sulla 3. In questo caso noi abbiamo un'accettazione volumetrica con un POC che è inferiore, ok? E andiamo a vedere che la distribuzione dei volumi si trova qua dentro. Vuol dire, è un'informazione molto forte dal punto di vista della distribuzione, ragazzi, perché il mercato ci ha plottato quello che viene definito come un B-shape, quindi un'informazione ribassista da parte del prezzo. La price action ci ha confermato questa informazione perché abbiamo rotto il minimo che aveva creato questo livello di mitigazione, ok? Quindi siamo effettivamente short con tutte le conferme e oggettivamente vediamo che il livello dove il prezzo orbita principalmente per il giorno precedente viene testato all'apertura della sessione successiva per poi far collassare il prezzo e creare un'altra situazione di B-shape. E è da qua che noi iniziamo la nostra fase di trend. Come vedete il mercato non accetta livelli superiori. Qui si è fatto 3 sessioni, ok, statiche. Quando voi vedete delle sessioni statiche con una sessione sovrastante, calcolate che la sessione sovrastante, la value area, ragazzi, vi fornisce il livello dove si andrà a creare la distribuzione. Okay? Infatti vedete che il mercato va a creare liquidità sopra questi livelli, la sbilancia e la mitiga qua dentro. Okay? Andando avanti abbiamo nuovamente una creazione di sessioni ribassiste dal punto di vista dell'analisi price action, ok? E dell'analisi volumetrica. Andando un attimo all'interno di queste informazioni, voglio portarvi un qualcosa che probabilmente non conoscete, ragazzi. Che cos'è questo qua? Questo è un indicatore di Lux, ok? È gratuito, potete andarlo a cercare, vi dico anche, si chiama VRMDH, che sarebbe un'informazione di profile, ok? L'orario fa il suo sbilancino alle 14. In realtà qua non sono le 14, sono le 21, ragazzi. Questo qua l'ultimo lo va a fare verso le 14, la mitigazione la va a fare alle 14. Questo qua, ragazzi, io non sono troppo amante degli indicatori, ma quando si tratta di indicatori che sono leading, non lagging, ok? Quindi indicatori che possono essere definiti con un'informazione addizionale rispetto al prezzo, mi piacciono veramente molto. In questo caso noi abbiamo un'informazione che è, faccio vedere qua dentro, relativa al pricing che noi abbiamo in quel determinato momento. Ok, quindi io adesso ve lo metto qua dentro e vi faccio vedere come sarebbe andata a creare la profile distribution in questo caso. Ok, quando noi parliamo di eventuali test all'interno della zona, dobbiamo basarci sempre sulla zona che noi abbiamo come intermedia. Calcolate che questi sono gli estremi, ok? Del dealing range questi sono gli estremi. Il livello di balance di prezzo è questo qua, ok? Quello che voi vedete che ha una predisposizione a volumi un po' più bassi, ok? Dentro questo livello, se vogliamo essere proprio precisi, dallo 0,4, dentro questa zona, ok, di balance, è proprio dove il prezzo tende a ricaricarsi prima di un ulteriore swing. Queste informazioni, ragazzi, sono dovute a tutta la market auction theory, che è quella studiata e teorizzata da Steve Meyer, e tutto quel filone di studio della distribuzione dei volumi. Perché accade questo? Il mercato è come un elastico, ragazzi. Calcolate che qualsiasi mercato ricerca l'efficienza, ok? Qualsiasi mercato si muove da una situazione di balance, quindi da una situazione di equilibrio, a una situazione di imbalance, ok? per poi creare una nuova situazione di balance e tornare alla situazione di imbalance, creando una struttura di mercato. Ok? All'interno di queste fasi esistono le prese di liquidità, ok? E questo è quello che viene definito dai trader un trend ribassista, ok? Questo è come viene formato in termini di volumetrica un trend ribassista. Calcolate, ragazzi, che queste informazioni sono quelle che ci permettono anche tramite questi software, ma anche andando a valutare semplicemente il volume profile, di capire dove si sta spostando il valore. Perché con la visualizzazione che vi ho fatto vedere prima, qui avremmo avuto la value area e il POC con queste situazioni. E molto spesso il mercato, prima di partire, testa il POC delle giornate precedenti. Vi faccio un esempio, vado un attimo a togliere questo qua, perché non ci serve, e vi rimetto l'indicatore di sessione, andando a togliere questa situazione qua. Cosa andiamo a vedere, ragazzi? Che noi successivamente a un'accettazione, ok? Quindi dopo che abbiamo decretato che l'order flow è short, vedrete che il POC delle giornate precedenti viene rigorosamente testato in quella che è la consecuzione del trend short. Vedete, in 2 giorni operativi short il mercato, non ricordo neanche se ha testato anche quello successivo, che sarebbe questo valore statico di prezzo. Un attimo, non mi ricordo se è tornato già a testarlo, se non l'ha ancora testato. Non mi sembra, mi sembra che qua stia andando direttamente short. Portiamo direttamente al prezzo attuale. Non l'ha ancora testato, ragazzi, ha fatto un'altra accettazione short. Queste informazioni vi servono per andare... No, il volume, il profilo a intervallo fisso non si basa sulla sessione. A me piace molto il volume di sessione perché ti va a dare un intervallo di tempo deciso, ok? E regolare. Quindi non è interpretabile a personam, ma è interpretabile proprio in quello che è successo da questo orario, ok, all'orario del giorno successivo alla stessa ora. Quindi sono 24 ore di dati che voi andate a mettere a grafico. È praticamente la vostra candela daily. E quella è un'informazione molto importante, perché è come andare a vedere la distribuzione dei prezzi all'interno di una singola candela daily. Ok? Se andate a ragionare un attimo dove il prezzo trova principalmente ostacolo anche nella salita, vedete che la value area funge un po' da muro, ok? Funge un po' da muro per il prezzo anche nella giornata successiva quando prova a testarlo. Idem qua dentro, ok? Idem qua dentro, il prezzo prova ad accettare al di sopra della value area, ma non ce la fa. Ora, andando avanti, vi faccio vedere come queste informazioni possono essere contestualizzate anche con tutte le informazioni che vi ho dato in precedenza di analisi delle waves. Perché? Cerchiamo di capire un attimo. Cosa ci si aspetta, ragazzi, da un mercato che ti fa un trend rialzista e una piccola accettazione short? Ci si aspetta che la pressione rialzista, se si vuole una continuation, sia preponderante. Invece in questo caso il mercato ci dà la prima informazione che la pressione preponderante è quella short. Guardate che preponderanza short che noi abbiamo con questa singola accettazione. La seconda informazione ci viene fornita da una partecipazione buyers che è praticamente la metà di quella sellers. Questa è una seconda informazione. La terza informazione, quella cruciale per prendersi eventualmente il trade, è vedere un'accettazione che non è solamente... possono essere contestualizzate anche con tutte le informazioni che vi ho dato in precedenza di analisi delle waves. Perché? Cerchiamo di capire un attimo. Cosa ci si aspetta, ragazzi, da un mercato che ti fa un... Cerchiamo di capire, prova ad accettare al di sopra della value informazioni che vi ho dato in precedenza di analisi delle waves. Perché? Cerchiamo di capire un attimo. Cosa ci si aspetta, ragazzi, da un mercato che ti fa un trend rialzista e una piccola accettazione short? Ci si aspetta che la pressione rialzista, se si vuole una continuation, sia preponderante. Invece in questo caso il mercato ci dà la prima informazione che la pressione preponderante è quella short. Guardate che preponderanza short che noi abbiamo con questa singola accettazione. La seconda informazione ci viene fornita da una partecipazione buyers che è praticamente la metà di quella sellers. Questa è una seconda informazione. La terza informazione, quella cruciale per prendersi eventualmente il trade, è vedere un'accettazione che non è solamente di prezzo, ma è anche di volumi nella creazione della nuova fase ribassista. Infatti questo sarebbe stato un eventuale short aggressivo da parte del prezzo. Il secondo short invece, quello più conservative, il mercato te lo fornisce perché successivamente all'accettazione, che come ripetevo prima ti va a creare anche una nuova situazione di pressione ribassista che crea e dimostra partecipazione, vai ad avere una mitigazione, ok, all'interno proprio del POC, quindi vai ad avere due confluenze operative. Al contempo, quando il prezzo crea una nuova accettazione, ok, e vediamo una pressione costante sellers preponderante, vedete i buyers non riescono mai ad accettare sopra i volumi sellers che sono preponderanti in questo caso, cosa andiamo a notare ragazzi? Andiamo a notare che il mercato inizia a creare una situazione di massimi crescenti, queste tre spike, in un contempo di pressione buyers decrescente. Questa è un'altra informazione di pressione rialzista non sostenuta. Vi ripeto che arriverà sicuramente il fenomeno che dice no, ma l'analisi dei volumi futures è più potente e io vi rispondo che nel mercato del CFD, ok, trarre un'informazione dalla VSA e dalle Waves è veramente un qualcosa di potente, perché potete andare a coadiuvare le vostre analisi in un mercato che non è centralizzato, ok? Si può usare anche su US 500? Certo che si può usare anche su US 500. Calcolate che però che sull'S&P 500 voi avete accesso ai volumi reali, ok? Quindi potete anche tradarvi il futures e andarvi a vedere i volumi dal futures, quindi potreste creare un'interpolazione di questi dati di mercato, ok? Andando avanti, vi faccio vedere l'ultima cosa che è riguardante allo scenario che si può andare a creare anche con la VSA qua dentro. E la cosa impressionante, io questo setup l'ho spiegato molte volte ragazzi, è la cosiddetta absorption di mercato, ovvero una pressione così alta di volumi long. La VSA ricordate che lavora a spread, ok? Lavora VSA spread analysis fra apertura, chiusura e va sempre contestualizzata con il contesto di prezzo. Guardate che effort che fanno i buyers e guardate che risultato ottengono, non riescono neanche ad andare sopra i massimi. Queste sono ulteriori informazioni che ci forniscono anche delle importantissime logiche che sono quelle di stop hunt, ok? Una situazione che ti presenta questa pressione volumetrica e un effort che è praticamente ridicolo, perché non riescono a fare nessuna tipologia di accettazione neanche sopra i massimi precedenti, sono tutte informazioni che possono andare a creare un insight, grazie per i complimenti Giovanni, un insight molto importante, certo che ve lo andrò a caricare. Adesso andiamo a contestualizzare anche BTC con le stesse logiche. No, non saranno a pagamento. Ragazzi, me lo chiedete ormai da 6 mesi, sono 6 mesi che faccio lezioni gratuite il venerdì. Non sono a pagamento le lezioni del venerdì, sono gratuite, rimarranno gratuite. Ok? Andando avanti, stessa contestualizzazione che abbiamo fatto in precedenza, no? Dei volumi per il BTC. Che cosa vediamo in questo caso? Una value area che è posizionata in questo modo, che sostiene questi livelli di prezzo, una value area che ancora sale. Guardate qua cosa abbiamo, un'accettazione di prezzo, quindi abbiamo effettivamente un order flow ribassista da questo momento di mercato, ok? Da questo momento di mercato, come vi spiegavo prima, cos'è che ci va a sostenere il prezzo al di sotto di determinati livelli? Proprio la demarcazione che noi abbiamo della value area. Quello che accade è che il mercato inizia a fare una fase di redistribution all'interno. Se conoscete i concetti, vi ho sempre spiegato, di manipolazione della liquidità statica e dinamica, sapete benissimo di cosa sto parlando. In questo caso voglio anche portarvi qua dentro, prendervi questo orizzonte temporale, vi metto l'orizzonte temporale dove noi stavamo salendo qua dentro, come se fosse in real time, cancelliamo questo qua e vi attivo questo. Speriamo che prende tutti i dati in considerazione, anche il massimo precedente. Quindi non so perché non mi prende in considerazione questo massimo qua. Andiamo da qua. Purtroppo non... Facciamo una cosa ragazzi, vediamo se vado avanti di una barra. No, non mi prende in considerazione questo massimo ragazzi, purtroppo mi sta prendendo in considerazione l'intero range. Vi faccio comunque la spiegazione che volevo farvi. Anche qua noi abbiamo dei livelli di prezzo che sono sbilanciati per i buyers, dei livelli di prezzo che sono sbilanciati per i sellers e un livello che è di balance. ok? Il livello di balance, come vi spiegavo, dopo un'accettazione del POC, è dove il prezzo va a reagire nella stragrande maggioranza delle casistiche, per un concetto di ritorno al fair value, ok? Quindi il valore accettato da parte del mercato. Se andiamo a contestualizzare, vi tolgo questa situazione qua, tutto questo contesto, ragazzi, con la situazione delle Waze, non so se me l'ha cancellate, se l'ho tolte, vediamo se ce l'attiva, eccole qua dentro, ragazzi. Se lo andiamo a contestualizzare con la situazione delle Waze, che cosa vediamo? La partenza del movimento, vedete, il prezzo faceva accettazione, guardate qua, il prezzo fa accettazione, ok? Ma la pressione dei buyers inizia a diventare stazionaria, quindi già questo eccesso non va bene. Inizia a diventare preponderante la pressione sellers, ok? I buyers sono molto più deboli, questo è lo short aggressivo sulla manipolazione. Successivamente entriamo in una fase di consolidation. Nella fase di consolidation c'è da ammettere che dominano i buyers, perché abbiamo la dominanza buyers molto marcata, ok? La dominanza sellers riparte da questo livello. Quindi ci manca semplicemente un'informazione di divergenza di prezzo per posizionarci. Qua è troppo presto. Perché è troppo presto? Perché noi abbiamo, come vedete qua dentro, una pressione buyers, scusate, che è più alta dell'average. Oggettivamente, non è interpretazione personale. Abbiamo una pressione buyers che ci va a dare ancora delle informazioni rialziste. Quando è che la preponderanza sellers riparte? Quando abbiamo questa situazione qua. Quindi si poteva shortare dopo questa accettazione con un livello di liquidazione qua sopra. Ok, questo era un trade molto conservative, ma che avrebbe pagato molto bene per BTC. Ragazzi, io come sempre vi chiedo di lasciare un feedback per la lezione gratuita qua dentro, datemi idee su quello che volete trattare insieme, andiamo a vedere tutto quanto quello che volete andare a vedere, e anche di venerdì io sono in viaggio, ragazzi, mi sono preso il tempo per farvi la lezione gratuita del venerdì, mi trovo attualmente in Svizzera, le US sono spaziali, però vorrei saperne di più sulla USA. Trattiamo quello che volete. Questa è già la parte 2, faremo la parte 3 assolutamente. Se vi interessa anche una lezione sulla fiscalità, sui paesi del mondo, le parti del mondo dove conviene di più per chi fa operatività sui mercati finanziari. Vi dico già che gli Emirati, la Svizzera, posti di questo tipo sono tutti agevolati per i trader. Grazie per essere stati presenti, ragazzi. Dedicatemi un minuto per lasciare un feedback su Trustpilot. Buona serata a tutti e noi ci vediamo venerdì prossimo con un'altra lezione gratuita della quale decidiamo insieme l'argomento. Potrebbe essere anche un approfondimento di questi concetti qua. Ciao a tutti ragazzi, grazie di cuore per essere stati presenti, ci vediamo settimana prossima.